Okay, this is realm depth. Oh shoot, what is it? 150? This is another boss. The aspects of Meraxis. They're all... I don't remember the name of this race of creature, but it's dangerous that they're all the same race. Okay, your creatures are immune to damage that doesn't come from attacks or spells, so they're immune to indirect damage. It's bad, because the most of our damage comes from minions. After your creatures are damaged, the enemy takes damage to equal to 30% of the damage dealt. I don't like what I'm reading so far. They're always defense, so they're tanky on top of not taking damage from minions. After it dodges, it gains a barrier. Dodges, attacks. Dodges, heals. And they always have agile, so we should kill that one first because they all dodge, and we don't want them to have agile. After this dodges, it casts a spell. So we kill the red one or the gray one first. I think the red one. Yeah, we'll see. Wish me luck. This might be a long fight, so I'll see what I can banter about. We just have to be worried when they dodge an attack. We don't have very high speed, so I'm assuming that they're going to be dodging a lot and doing a lot of damage. Our whole team got wiped out for a second there, but 3 of them came back, including one of our life creatures. 5 of them are back. The life creatures are the spider and the bird are the units with resurrection spells, and the white resurrects its allies once it dies. On top of that, we also have a high base chance. We get a 10% chance to resurrect for each minion that we have. Luckily, we have 4 innate minions that will never go away. And then we have 4 horsemen, so we have a base 80% chance to resurrect, just passively. Derzok says, why not put generous in your resurrection spells? Probably because I don't interface with the spells very often. But generous, I've looked at it, I don't remember what it does. But if you recommend it, I'll definitely check it out. I remember fighting units that looked like these. Were these a main boss, like in the main quest? I've seen some people streaming them, streaming using these units on their teams before, actually. Xryxzys says, Generous gives 1 charge copy of the spell to each party member. Okay, that sounds pretty useful, actually. I might have to update my macros to make sure that my units are casting Resurrection when needed, but I'll definitely look into that. I should have plenty of crafting materials, especially for spells. Unfortunately, we don't have much knowledge on these creatures, so we can't see their health bars. We're just gonna have to tough this out. Toro says, yeah, this is a repeat boss. That's what I thought. We are definitely going to be here for a while. It's unfortunate that we can't see what's going on. Especially, don't tell anybody, but I forgot to turn on the battle text again. That's okay. There's nothing that really that really should be out of the ordinary. And the good thing about not having the battle text is that things will go by a lot faster. Relatively, by the way. I don't mean to say that this is going to be quick in the slightest. Our white is 2800 HP for some reason. From a base of 1. Sometimes my unit's HP doubles, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know, but it's all due to the Dusk Ossign trait, which is a unit you can get relatively early, and it's actually a trait that I've been using for a long time, ever since it was available to me. But the trait, normally when a unit resurrects, it resurrects with 50% HP. The Dusk Ossign's trait is to, when a unit resurrects, it resurrects with 100% HP, but also it gains 100% max HP. So it will revive with double the amount of HP that it originally had. It's a pretty useful trait and a great trait to put in early if you're going for resurrections. And the only reason resurrections is possible early is mostly because of the Unicorn Vivifier that you get from the tutorial. I used that Unicorn for a long time as well. The bad thing about the Unicorn is that its resurrection trigger is on attack, and there's a boss in the Azure Dream that starts with Barrier, and it doesn't read that way, but on attack actually means on damage to HP from an attack. So if you attack a barrier with an on attack trait, the on attack trait won't activate because it's not doing damage to HP. It took me a bit of Googling to find that out and finally get past that boss, and some reworking with my team, of course. But before that fight, it was probably the first wall that I encountered. Yeah, Toro, you wouldn't figure that out if you weren't actively using something that came up against that boss, probably. Yeah. By this point, we're doing a lot of damage, but they all have agile, and they probably have a lot of dodge chance as well, so even though we're doing a lot of damage, it's still a little bit of a dice roll to see if we can kill them. Once we kill this red one, I believe they will lose the agile trait. They're also not taking damage from our minions, it's only from our units attacking. I believe we are casting Apocalypse every turn. Yeah, we are. So our spell is doing AoE damage to all the enemy units every turn. You can't see it, but that is what's happening. Apocalypse is a spell that is auto-cast once you have all 4 horsemen. The horsemen minions. We do have all 4 horsemen on all of our units. So we are doing more damage that way. Unless Apocalypse counts as indirect damage. It's a spell, and they're casting it, so I would assume it's a spell doing spell damage. And they cast it at the start of their turns. We got one. Okay. Not even the one we were targeting, mind you, but we got one. Yeah, this is looks like an easy win. I didn't even see what level of fatigue we were on. By the way, because we have such a high chance to passively resurrect, and we have such high stat gain, most of our relics are geared towards, say for a couple, are geared towards doing extra damage. So if you see in the text box up above, sometimes it'll say like my relic is attacking. That's just what's going on. Because yeah, our survivability is almost guaranteed. Surprisingly, even on difficulty 6. I want more bosses like Phobos. If you're not familiar with the boss Phobos, Phobos does an extra attack every time anybody on his team attacks. But Phobos, there's six Phobos in that fight. So every time you attack one of them, all 6 of them will attack you. I want more fights like that where the boss is more offense than defense. Those are the fights that are the funnest for me. That's 3 of them down. We'll check our stats quickly. We're not dying anymore, so we're not getting any stats. I just want to see how big the numbers are. 80,000 attack, 40,000 defense. That's pretty good. Compared to 100,000 attack and 100,000 defense. Okay. Maybe it's not as good as I would expect, but that's difficulty scaling for you. We are doing 40% more damage for each turn taken in this fight, by the way. My throat's starting to get dry. I'm talking this whole fight. There's one left. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Got a nice chair too. That's a reward. Okay. If you were watching through that, just thanks for being here. We are gonna take a short break, but if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, I will see you next time. Have a good one. Alright, we are here. We are at the next Nether boss at Realm Depth 155. Difficulty 6, by the way. I didn't turn on the battle text again, sorry. But at least it'll go by faster. This is Vext. I do not recognize this, so this is a new boss. He's got a priest with him. War Priest, I believe, raises their enemy's attack by 15% each time it takes a turn. This is the only creature I know, though. But let's look at the boss. Rite of Passage. At the start of this creature's turn, it steals 5% of your stats from each enemy. That is not going to bother us. Oh, Disciple of War. Removes debuffs. Chaos spells cast extra times. This creature deals additional damage equal to the damage it's taken. So this guy could possibly one-shot us. So we should target him. We should target him last when we can do more damage. More chaos spells. After this creature is healed, it also heals its friend for 300% of that amount. Nothing too bad. Let's take out the War Priest, just so we can get some effectiveness out of our debuffs. But I also want to bring to attention, we added a new trait, Hearty Appetite. So after our creatures gain stats, they also gain 20% of that as health. Okay, so we will be a lot tankier this fight, so I'm really not worried, even on difficulty 6, about wiping. Especially not against this enemy team. It didn't seem very scary. Let's see what's going on though. Hard to see. I know it's hard to tell what's going on without the battle text on, but I will try to narrate what's going on as best as I can. On difficulty 6, it's really a hard sell, especially on Necromancer, to have the battle text on, because not only do your minions attack, but each one of your minions also attacks, and you have like 4 or 5 minions that attack, but also you have like multiple stacks of each minion. So the battle text it's not really viable, especially when the enemies have like millions of HP. And you do see if you were watching just now in the last Nether boss, our HP was not nearly this high. But did that white lose his extra max HP when he resurrected? No, he just didn't heal to full. Okay, we're good. Compared to the last fight, we have much more max HP than we used to. And we're actually doing good damage. Did you see that? Okay, we should target the Timeless Master, just because he does more damage the more... Okay, I skipped a turn again. Sorry about that. Okay, attack this guy. We want to take him out before he kills our units in one shot. I don't know what caused... Okay, there we go. Okay, he's gone. Want me to take a sip of water? No problem this fight. It actually went by a lot faster than I was expecting it to. Scourge. Yeah, these are the highest numbers on my HP bars that I've ever seen. And each unit only starts out with maybe a maximum of 8,000. We didn't sacrifice much to add that trait either. It was just an extra trait that we had on our artifact. And we had that trait for a long time, probably since the beginning of the game. No problems here. The only one that doesn't gain HP on when it revives is the Dusk sign, because it's his own trait that causes that. I believe that's how it works. Okay. Yeah, there's no threats in this fight. Easy enough. Just a matter of time. What do you think? Should we fight the next boss on difficulty 9, just to see? If we die on that boss on difficulty 9, well, that'll be the first time we've ever died to another boss. Oh, he revived one of them. That's okay, we're doing a lot more damage now. Yeah, the basic strategy is we only have 10 resurrection limit, and we got the boss just now. We only have 10 resurrections due to the innate limit in the game. But by the time we use up all our resurrection triggers, we'll be so tanky that it won't matter if we can't resurrect. Toro says difficulty 9 would be painful. I agree, but we could do it for the vine, you know? Okay, that's been Nether Boss at 155. Thank you for checking out the video, or the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome back. This is not my streaming day. We are fighting. This would be Nether Boss 17, I believe. No, it might be. I don't know the count actually, but this is Xryxzys. We are on difficulty 5 at the moment. I am hoping to push to difficulty 9 eventually. I'm not worried right now about that wipe almost. We are in the overgrown temple, which is dangerous because it can spawn carnages like that one that we have up there. The fallen carnage, I believe, is actually the worst matchup for us, if I remember right. It has an on-kill trigger, but once we get a chance, we will look at these monsters and see what's actually going on here. I've elected not to turn on battle text, just because we are pushing high difficulty, and it's especially as Necromancer, turning on the battle text makes the fights go on for so much longer than they need to be. And I was saying, I will stop once we get a turn here. I was saying I want to push to difficulty 9 once we get our build solidified. There's just a few things that we need before we get to that point. I just need to grind some S ranks and get some assassination so I can equip the traits that I want on my units. I already got 2 of the god spawn that we need. But to be able to fit them in, I need to be able to move my traits around. And I think once we get those god spawn in, we can go to difficulty 9. Our build won't be optimized, but we should be good, because our build is very strong. I've never had any problems, and if you've noticed, I don't know if we've taken a turn yet. Have I been skipping the turns, or have I... Because they're about to die, and I don't know if I've even pressed the button. I might have been on autopilot, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is difficulty 5, and we've basically killed the enemy before we've taken a turn. Okay, well, I didn't get to see what the boss did, but I will show you after this, because if you're not aware, you can look up each Nether boss in the codex. I have not been doing that before we got to them. But I will do that for the video. Let's see, game information, creatures. Okay, now we have to navigate the menu. Nether bosses, there's a whole category for it, perfect. Okay, that was Xryxzys. So his ability is after an enemy takes an action, they must take that same action for the rest of battle. So that might have explained why it seemed like we didn't take any turns there. I may have just been on autopilot, I apologize. But that, you can see all 3 tiers of the Nether boss here. So I've been fighting only the tier 1 versions, but once you see each boss for the first time, you start seeing the tier 2s, and then the same thing for the tier 3s. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing after we fight all the first Nether bosses. Maybe some explanation builds, but I will try to put the link for my build in the description. So if you're looking forward to that, I hope you take a look at that. But for now, I will keep pushing. I'm hoping to do some pushing today. I'll push Realm Depth, and I will see you at the next Nether boss. So for now, have a good one. Thank you. Okay, we are here at the next Nether boss. Let's get started. Difficulty 5, same deal. This boss's name is Katarina. We're fighting them in the Great Pandemonium. Let's see. So, in the last Nether boss, I was talking about some changes to my team. Most of it is offense-based, just because... Okay, we need to... They're all invisible, so we need to defend until we can cast Dispel. We have a Dispel on our sorcery unit. Okay, the invisibility's gone away for the most part, but let's cast Dispel anyway. Okay. It's just a great utility spell to have. They still have invisibility. Okay, I should probably look at what the enemies are doing. After your creatures take damage, they become invisible and gain shield, so they're always going to have invisible. So we might as well just defend this whole time. And if all we can do is defend, then it doesn't matter what we do. We have AoE spells, but our attack scales a lot higher. And I don't quite remember. Unstable Horror is the minion that does indirect damage when you defend as the Necromancer. I believe it does 10% of your highest stat for each Unstable Horror that you have, and you can have a maximum of 9 Unstable Horrors. I believe that would do more damage than just spending my time casting AoE spells, but who knows. I've got a lot of progress to make. I actually was recording these and the power went out, so I'm a bit behind from where I wanted to be. Oh, my white is still casting Dispel. I mean, that's not bad. We could probably put him on defending, or maybe casting an AoE spell. Either way, these units they're halfway dead already, and the closer they are to death, the faster they'll die, because we'll be doing more damage as time goes on. I wanted to talk about my build a little bit. Got it planned out. We used 2 Godspawn, Kalisag, and Dark Lurker. Not yet, of course, but later on. And then the last piece of the puzzle we're going to need is Myrtle's Greed, which gives 50% of the stats to Myrtle, or the unit with that trait, every time a unit dies. Right now we have the Terror White's ability, which is 25% stats. But we're not gonna use one or the other. We're gonna stack them actually, and this was an easy fight. These Nether bosses really haven't been much of a challenge, but I'm not willing to turn it up to difficulty 9 until we have more offense, because otherwise it's gonna take a long time to beat these bosses. Much longer than it is now because of the level scaling. But anyway, that should be the end of this video. If you've been watching, if you've been following the series, I appreciate you. For now, see you next time, and I will be back with another Nether boss. Okay, have a good one.